What's up, guys? Your girl in this thing. I'm about to tell y'all another story again. I don't really know if that's gonna be my intro, but that's just the first thing that came up to my head. I'm super excited to be back on this camera with y'all. Literally, I took about like a 10-day, fast away from social media and just other things that I needed God to guide me and help me with. And then I'm also fasting like for my family and just certain areas. So I did take a break. I was super nervous though to take this break because take this fast because I really wanted to show y'all that I was committed and consistent with my videos. And I am a person that can honestly say I struggle with consistency. And so I was on a great path, and people were like really like loving it. And then God hit me with I need you to turn off your phone at a certain time. And I'm like, but what about my videos? And I'm like, oh, here I am. I'm doing it again. I'm trying to please people and not listen to what God told me to do. So I wasn't on social media, I don't know if y'all have noticed. And I spent that time with God and just more of a clearer vision and a clearer direction of where he wants me to go and what he wants me to do. So I'm not going to apologize that I've been away because it has been something that God called me to do and that I agreed and committed to doing. But what I am going to say is, you guys, that I've truly missed you. And I just can't wait to share everything that's been going on. This video is going to be super long, so I am going to break it up in two. I'm just going to keep this. Actually will be part 3 of my tithing testimony. Yes, I think it's part 3. Yes, it'll be part 3 of my tithing testimony, but it's so long, you're going to get part 4 of it as well. And I just hope you guys are just, keeping up with everything. So where do I start? I was hit again. I know y'all probably trying to figure out how long. I've been trying to figure out how long, am I going to be going through this financial situation? Like, when can I catch a break? But I prayed and I asked God to use me. And I can't pick and choose where he want to use me at. And he want to use me to where I share my testimony with you guys. And it's so easy to share when great things are happening. Like, ooh, great, But when you hit rock bottom or you're going through a dark time, you want to keep that to yourself. And I would do that for so many years. And so many people thought, oh my gosh, she never goes through anything. She's so perfect, And I was just entertaining the illusion of perfection. And it doesn't exist. And so I just have to learn that I'm going to share my good times with you guys, and I'm going to share my bad times because we're human and we all go through it. And I'm just going to let my pride aside and I'm going to let you in, and people always say I talk a lot. So I'm going to use my gift of talking a lot and I'm going to tell y'all what's been going on. So I was faced with another sacrifice. But this one was really hard. It was really and truly hard because I had a lot of things that was due. I had so many things that was due this month because of a deadline and everything, that it was about 2 bands, and for some 2 bands don't seem like a lot, but that is a lot for me in my season right now. Okay. And so I needed that, I needed to pay that off by the end of this month. And whenever I got paid, I was excited because I'm like, bet, I get to pay some things off. But when you calculate certain things and then unexpected bills hit and then your paycheck come and you be like, dang, like I thought I could do X, Y, and Z, but no. Whenever I got paid, I got hit again, with another sacrifice where, are you going to pay your tithes or all these bills that's accumulating and you just getting all these texts and emails and calls, And it was hard. It was super hard this time. I know every time is hard, but this one was really hard. because it was one person in particular, not person, but business in particular, that was like, you have to pay this off by this amount of time. And if you don't pay it off, we're doubling the price. And that really caused like me to have stress. And I try not to stress, and so I listen to God's word. And when he says like, be anxious for nothing, I really try, but it's a daily, that's my daily dose that I need, because if I don't feed myself with the spirit, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And so I would just read the word to give me that strength and to know that everything is okay. But sometimes I do, get a little flustered and just be like, I have no earthly idea what's about to happen. So anyways, I ended up having to pay my tithes. I did it, but I didn't do it like, oh, I gotta pay my tithe, blah, blah. I did like, you know what? Okay, this is the life I pray for. I asked God to use me, and I'm gonna use, and I need him to trust me, knowing that, okay, I have X, Y, and Z due, but you can depend on me and you can trust me. So I'm gonna be obedient, and I'm gonna make this sacrifice. So I just had enough to pay my tithes. That's it. Like, that's it. I kid you, I'm not making these stories up just to make videos and have content. Like, no. I wish I can tell you, I had so much to give and I gave this, that. No. And then it just gets a little bit more stressful because the holidays are coming up and you want to be able to give, and all these things. So it was just a lot. But no, it's the honest to God truth that all I had to my name was the money that I had to pay my tithes. And I had $17 in cash on me. That's it. And boy, I tell you, my $17 I had in cash, I was holding on to it because I had no idea what I needed it for, but I felt like I needed it. I just needed it. People have been calling me. I don't know what I could pay for $17, but I was just like, hey, I'm going to just keep it. So yes, I paid my tithes. I did that. And then I just had to trust him. So as I'm headed to work, I get stopped at this stoplight. And typically the stoplights, it is a decent time where they turn green or whatever, red. But this one took a little longer. But as I'm like waiting, I'm just like, banging my music. Everybody always be like laughing when they see me. I need to get my windows tinted. But I'm just like, hey, now look over to my left. And it was this tall black man, and he was looking real good. He was outside. And I was like, I didn't know he was homeless, or I didn't know if he was like a part of a church, just trying to collect money. But when I saw his sign, he said he was homeless. And I was like, oh, okay. I never keep cash on me, right? And I'm just like, I look down at my cash. I'm like, no, I ain't gonna give it to him. He looked good, but I need to keep this money because I need it. And the Holy Spirit convicted me. And he told me to give him some money. And I was like, okay, I'll give him $7. So I hung my horn. I was like, hey, and I gave him $7 because I'm like, you know what? It's Thanksgiving time. I know I'm going to have more than enough food to eat, but I can't say the same thing about this person. And it's not my business what they do with their money. God is just testing my obedience. It's just really not my business what people do with whatever I give them. I used to make it my business. Like, no, I ain't about to give no $10. They gonna buy no alcohol. No, that's not my business. So I gave him $7, and he was appreciative. And I was like, hey, no problem, And then it was a lady, another homeless lady to the right of me that looked the complete opposite. Like, he was like kind of like clean cut, like attractive. It's another lady that was like all like beat down, looked like she was on like some type of drugs, and she was homeless as well. But I was like, nope, I already gave my homeless deed for the day. I did it. And I ended up getting ready to but the light wouldn't turn green, so I'm just sitting like, hurry up. She passing by me. The Holy Spirit convicted me again. And he said, give her $10. I'm like, but that's all I have. He said, be a cheerful giver. Don't give and grieve the giving. Like, if you trust in me, know that it's going to be replenished, And So I ended up giving her $10. So I gave him 7, gave him 10, gave her 10, and I just went on, on my way to work. And I was just like, dang. But you know what? Whatever. Like I said, it's super, super, super easy to give when you have it. I don't mind giving when I have it, but when I don't, that's when I think the selfishness and the greed comes in. And God is just training me, to sometimes you're going to have to give people your last when it may not seem like the right thing to do, or the logical thing. But we're supposed to be cheerful givers and give. So I needed God to help me with my heart and be happy that I just gave, not mourning the fact that, hey, I just gave and I'm like, that's all the money I had. So I feel like that was definitely a test. I was behind on my daughter's daycare for 1 week. So I was a week behind and the next week was coming up to pay. So basically I owed 2 weeks of daycare at that time. I had this bill that they told me if I don't pay by December 1st, they're going to double it. And instead of me paying $1,000 on the 1st of December, it's going to be $3,000 that I would have to pay for in the matter of 5 months. And dang it. Oh, and then I also had my utility bills and my rent that was due. That was almost $400. So I don't know about y'all. I ain't got that type of money right now. I will, but I don't have it, and I was stressed out. That was literally almost $1,700, I think. That was supposed to be due within the next 5 days. I was stressed out. I was so stressed out. I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know who to ask. It's the holidays that's coming. It gets a little tight for people in the holidays. And I was just like, God, like I don't know. But the last time I talked to them, they said, that I'd have to pay this, or they're not, they're going to charge me double my rent, or utility bills, whatever. It accumulated. It's a long story with that, but it accumulates almost like $400. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what? And then with daycare, they just gave me a discount. So I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. But at this point in time, like I removed, like talking on the phone from a certain time. I removed social media. So everything that I was truly like dealing with and going through, I had nothing but God and the Bible to lean on, and it was hard, but it also gave me strength, and I'm just grooming myself to trust him no matter what it looks like. But I did lean on my own understanding at one point. Like I had this idea, like, oh, where am I getting money from? I don't know. And I'm like, oh, snap. Like, hey, I got money in my 401k. Like that's how desperate I was, and that's how much I was leaning on my own understanding, was getting ready to tap into this. Because I was so desperate to pay it off, because I'd rather just pay off this $1,000 than be charged and paying $3,000. In the long run, it's gonna put me more in a bind. And that was truly what was like stressing me out like this whole time. Like I was just like, I don't know. And I was trying to be strong. I was trying, but I couldn't think of any other way or any other thing that could happen. Like I just didn't know. And what happened was I ended up talking to her daycare, and I was happy. I paid the daycare, of course, from her Journey's dad child support. I don't want y'all thinking like, where you get money from? You said you had no money. No. So whenever I received the money from Journey's dad, I was able to pay that 1 week of daycare, but I still owed 1 more week. And I just was being honest with her, and I just told her, and she was like, she said, Regina, Journey will always have a place. She will always have a daycare. I don't want you to ever think that, if you go behind, she's going to be kicked out of daycare. We love her here. She's amazing. She's so nice and kind. And I don't need you to worry about that. It's already hard enough. And I'm going to just break it down. Like, I don't fall under the low income range, but I'm not rich either, so whenever you're kind of like in the middle, they feel like you can fend for yourself. They want you to be making little to nothing for any type of assistance, and I don't qualify for that. So I'm really just trying to figure out how I can make more. And so she basically said, hey, you know what, don't even worry about last week. just pay, you already paid this week, so you're going to be good. Like, don't worry about it. You don't owe us anything, just 1 week. And I'm like, yeah. So I happily, gave him money and everything. And she was like, I'm going to be praying for you. And I'm praying for them as well, too. I'm just truly grateful for that. Like, I was like, oh, because like, I did have a lot of things that I was worried about, but me, like my daughter, not having a daycare to go to, where she's learning so much and she's developing social skills and everything, like, it really made me feel like, man, am I being a good mom? I don't even want to get emotional, but it was just like, I never wanted to put my daughter in a situation where we had to move to another daycare because I couldn't afford the one that I had, So they already blessed me with a discount, and I didn't want to keep taking advantage. But the fact that they was able to say, don't even worry about last week, just pay this week, it was a true blessing. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I was just really, really happy about that. And another thing, number 2 was, oh no, I'm so sorry. I just thought I'm cutting something out of the story. So I called my mom, and by all means, I did not call my mom to ask her for any type of assistance or anything like that. I'm sorry. I'm by the window, so if you see me like keep looking, I just people watch sometimes. So I'm sorry if I'm not trying to get distracted. But yeah, so I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can tap into my 401k to pay all these bills off, but I'm still kind of like a little like struggling. I don't know, it's gonna take time for me to even get that. So, okay, we'll figure it out. She was like, check a Cash App. I'm like, okay. She sent me some money and some money that I needed. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, this will be another story. But for those that know, the situation that happened, with my mom and I not too long ago, we're in a great place now. But the devil really was trying with us. And it's just amazing, like, it's just amazing how God can use other people to be a blessing in your life when you least expect it. And my mom has been really helping me and coming through in this season that I really, really needed her, to be, help to me. So I was able to pay for the daycare. But hey, like, one obstacle, bloop, but I had 2 more. So then I'm looking into my 401k. I'm like, oh, bet, like, oh, well, I can't take it out because they're going to charge a penalty. But I didn't even know you can take a loan out. So I'm over here like just looking. I'm like, oh, you can take a loan? Maybe I can take a loan. But then it was like, hey, but you have to show proof that you're in a hardship. And as I'm like looking, I kid you not, like, the Holy Spirit, I love it. But man, it convicted me. That was like, stop what you're doing. You don't need to dive into your 401k. Like, stop and trust me. Just please trust me. Like, and it was so hard, but I felt it in my spirit that I needed to stop doing what I was doing. And I just logged off. I said, okay, all right. And so the place where I owed $1,000, and literally a few days, I called them. And I'm like, look, I know the last person I spoke with, y'all said that I had to pay it, but I can't. And I'm just giving you I'm just letting y'all know the rundown. And if I cannot pay it, y'all saying that y'all going to charge me double, which is $3,000, triple, I guess. Because if you don't pay the $1,000, it'll be $3,000. So whatever that is, triple of what I owe, that's going to put me more in a bind, And it was just a lovely lady on the phone. And so she was able to talk to her supervisor, and she said, you know what? You don't even have to pay it on December 1st. She said, we're going to split the monthly payments, and we're going to give you 30 days to make that payment. And I know, I will make it, because I just needed just a little bit more time to get certain bills out the way. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I was like, God bless you. Like, you don't understand. Like, I'm not out here trying to get all special treatment and want y'all to feel sorry for me. I'm known for paying my bills on time. Check my track record. You see it. but I was just going through something. And the fact that you trusting me that I will be able to extend this within 30 days, like, thank you so much. But I wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for me trusting in God and him telling me to stop doing whatever I was doing. So one, her daycare said, you don't even have to pay 2 weeks, just pay me one. The place where I owed the $1,000 said, you know what, I know $1,000 is due December 1st, but instead of it being due December 1st, we're going to give you a 30-day, just give it to us by January 1st. And I'm like, oh, yes. Number 3, my utilities and my rent. So whenever I moved out, you get like the last 2 of your light bills or whatever. And when I tell you that my light bills was like $600, it was because I was in the upstairs loft and all that. Like, so whenever I moved out, that money I had to pay. And I'm like, $600? Like, oh my God. Like, but it was just something after another, after another, after another. Actually, it was $700. It was total 7. So I talked to my property manager and she was like, okay, we can split it up in 2 months for you. You pay $350 this month and then you pay $350 the next month. So I already paid my $350 last month. I have $0 to my name, okay? Like, I have $0 to my name. I ended up paying my daughter's daycare by the grace of God, my mom and her dad. When it came to the $1,000 that I owed, they was able to split it up by the grace of God. Then I had this rent that's due. By the end of November, I had nothing. I couldn't even ask my mom if I wanted to. She just gave it to me, So I'm just like, no. What am I going to do? I've been waiting on a check from my job, a refund check that they owed me since I moved out. I have not received it. Something told me to check my mail. I got tired of checking my mail because it was empty. I checked my mail. That refund check came. I had to wait almost 2 months. Something that you get a week after you move out, I didn't get until 2 months later. And it came right on time. So I was able to pay my rent. I was able to extend the $1,000 that I owed. And my daughter's daycare is good. And when I tell you I had no earthly idea, I wasn't trying to, I was trying to trust God. I truly was, but it was so hard because I'm so used to figuring things out on my own. And he told me to stop. And it's more to the story, but I'm creeping up on 25 minutes and it gets better. Trust and believe when I say the story gets better. You will hear part 4 next week. But he was just testing me. And he's going to continue to test me. And I'm just asking God to continue to give me strength that I can be obedient. And I'm willing to make sacrifices. So that money, that $17 I was holding on to, that I gave away and I didn't have nothing, he made a way out of no way. It was no way possible. Me going online, trying to tap into my 401k when he told me to stop. He told me to stop for a reason. I had no idea. So just like I know there's going to be times where it gets hard, trust me, I'm going through it right now. I'm not sharing this story after everything comes up and I'm a millionaire, and I have all this money. I'm going through it live at 5. Okay? And I just want you to know it's going to be okay. But we try so hard to lean on our own understanding. We have so much pride, and we just have to learn how to be humble and come to God. And I was overwhelmed. And I finally told him, I'm overwhelmed. Help me. And he did it. He did it. And I'm so happy. I may start crying. But I'm just so happy and I can't wait to show y'all part 4 of what's going on. But it's not always going to be. Sometimes you pay your tithes. You be like, why am I paying my tithes and I'm still broke? He just testing you. I'm going through a season right now, but I am spiritually mature enough to know that this season is not going to last a long time. It gets tiring, yes. but I'm telling you, it's gonna be worth it. So continue to follow me throughout my journey, and I can't wait to continue to spread what's going on in my life. And I love you guys so much. God bless you.